It's so so. When the film was nearly finished, I was a little concerned about how some of the participants would see themselves on camera. Just because it's a very honest portrayal. I didn't want to, I felt like for the audience to connect to this film in the most clear and direct way, the most powerful way, it had to be honest. So what honestly happened was that there was conflict, there was some ego, there was some squabbling, which led towards an inner transformation. But I felt like it was important that the film was honest. So I was a little worried about showing the participants the film when it was done for the first time. So the first opportunity that I had to show the participants was during its first film festival at the Telluride Mountain Film Festival in Colorado. So Fred Allen Wolf was there, Elizabeth Satoris was there, Brian Muldoon was there, and a couple others. I was especially worried about how Fred would see it, because Fred's one of the most cantankerous characters in the film, and I was a little nervous. I'm sure Fred was also nervous because he hadn't seen it either. But I was very surprised because while Fred was sitting in the audience watching the film for the very first time, he would hear the audience laugh during his scenes, which I think made him feel good. But I think Fred realized his character's role in the film. This is why I think Fred's gone through some change since that time, and perhaps because of that time in Dharamsala, I think Fred's gone through some changes, because Fred understood that his character was to illustrate for the audience the transformation from ego to open-heartedness, to receiving the wisdom of the Dalai Lama and changing. So Fred, I think that's a sign of a really wise person, that they can see themselves looking a little badly on camera, a little poorly on camera, but yet they see it has a higher purpose. So everyone felt that way. It's really ironic. Some of the memories of the participants was that it was a really difficult experience for them during the trip. Some people felt like it went very badly. The organization fell down. There was no external product that resulted from the conference that they saw. But after watching the film a few years later, they realized that the important aspect of what happened during that trip, it was not to come up with some external solution to the world's problems at that time. It was to go through an inner transformation, an inner inspiration, an inner illumination, an examination of their own life, which then, once they were personally inspired, they went out into the world as authors, as lecturers, as participants and characters in other films like The Secret and What the Bleep Do You Know. And everyone who's seen the film, who was in it, sees that something powerful did happen. It wasn't that immediate external transformation. It was an inner transformation, which then they went out into the world feeling inspired and changed. And one by one lecture at a time, one book at a time, they're creating a positive impact in the world. And of course, this film is another product, I suppose. That's kind of a bad word. Another way that one event in Dharamsala, India is impacting audiences and impacting the world in a positive way.